Hello, my name is Andrew Naylor, and I'm the Regional CEO for APAC, excluding China, at the World Gold Council. I'm going to be talking today about our latest gold demand trends report, which we've recently released. The report looks at supply and demand globally for the annual picture in 2021, plus the final quarter of last year. There are some quite interesting findings. Overall, gold demand is up by 10%. Jewelry demand and bar and coin demand, we saw a lot of robust recovery. So jewelry demand was up 52% globally, and bar and coin demand was up 31%, taking it to an 8-year high. And this really is about COVID. As economies started to emerge from the worst of the pandemic, that translated into greater consumer confidence. We also saw a lot of lockdowns removed in some of the major consumer markets, and that also facilitated both investment in jewelry and investment in bars and coins. Now, turning to central banks, they account for around about 17% of annual demand, and central banks were net buyers in 2021, accumulating 463 tons. And what's quite interesting here in Southeast Asia, there were two banks in particular that accumulated gold. Thailand was the largest buyer in 2021, and the Monetary Authority of Singapore added to its gold reserves for the first time in 21 years. Another major sector of demand that also saw robust growth was technology demand, which grew 9% in 2021. And that again is because of economic expansion. The resumption of economic activity meant consumers are buying more goods. Gold is used as an input in many high-tech technological applications, for example, semiconductors, in the medical industry, in environmentally friendly technologies, for example. Now, gold is a dual asset. It has both consumer demand and institutional investment demand. And it was actually institutional investment demand that softened last year, where we saw outflows from gold-backed exchange-traded funds of 173 tons. But that's coming from a very high base, because in 2020, we saw record inflows into ETFs of 874 tons. ASEAN is one of the largest consumer markets for gold in the world, and we saw a recovery in consumer demand across all of the major ASEAN markets. So in Indonesia, which is the largest gold market in ASEAN, jewelry demand was up 29%, and bar and coin demand was up 18%. In Vietnam, which has been particularly hard hit by COVID in 2021, jewelry demand was up 11%, and bar and coin demand was up 7%. It's a similar picture in Thailand, where jewelry demand grew by 38%, and bar and coin demand increased by 29 tons in 2021. And actually 2020, there was net disinvestment in Thailand, where 87 tons of bars and coins were actually sold, as Thai consumers reacted to the high price and perhaps wanted to bank that in 2020. But as the price softened in 2021, we saw Thai consumers go back to purchasing bars and coins. And we're actually going to be exploring that in a bit more detail later this year when we release some consumer research looking specifically at Thai consumers and preferences for gold. Final two markets that we're looking at in Southeast Asia, Malaysia and Singapore. In Malaysia, jewelry demand was up 10%, bar and coin by 11%, and Singapore was up by 22% when we look at jewelry investment, and bar and coin demand was up by 20%. So across the region, we've seen a robust recovery in consumer demand in 2021. You'll find all of our research on our website, www.goldhub.com. You'll find our latest gold demand trends report there, alongside some of our recent reports, including our H1 gold market outlook. We've also got some thematic reports looking at gold versus crypto, for example, gold as an inflation hedge, and also the impact of interest rates on the gold market.